Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are sorry there was a technical issue. Now, let me introduce to you Dr. Anuradha Govind. She is the principal for JAM International School, Dwarka, New Delhi, and the founder to Teach for Life. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Very good evening.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. There was a technical issue. We had to be offline. Now, the topic for today is e-learning exigency breakthrough or the promise for life for future. This is something which every parent, every teacher, everybody should know about. So my usual question: what brought you into education line from your corporate world?
Um, I am a science student, and I have been an all-rounder in my school life, doing all kinds of activities and being good with academics, being a monitor and all of that. So my life has gone like that. And at home, a very literary atmosphere and a very well-read family with army backgrounds and corporates and other professions. Um, so after my graduation in science and masters, I was working with AIMS in a research project, and side by side, I was doing my honors in system management and computer programming. In those days, we had COBOL and C++ also,
Yeah.
so DBase and all those spreadsheets. So did that, and with some stint with Citibank as a trainee programmer, I happened to see this vacancy in a school, and I joined them as a PGT computer science for their senior grades 11th and 12th, set up their lab, and this is how I entered the school
Quite
climate
interesting.
as an educator. Also met children in other subjects as a substitute teacher. So got to see how the things are going, and how it's almost about chalk and talk and question answers and very recall kind of questions, very less thinking, very less relevance of the subjects coming in front of children, and very rote learning based. Children's personality, their language expression, many things were not being addressed. So in my classes I started experimenting and doing my stuff. Children loved it, it was being noticed as well. And so right at that time I kind of decided that I'm going to be, this is my calling, and this is where I would land. So joined as a teacher then with my own subjects, science, and also taught mathematics and English till grade 10, and of course science, biology in senior grades. Then moved on to be an activity in charge side by side, and literary club and creative club in charge, and then did some theater in schools and a lot of things, and then moved up to be a
Wow.
headmistress, then
It's
principal, and now it's
it's
going on.
really an interesting journey, like jumping from the corporate world to the education world. In fact, I feel education world is much more better than the corporate world, because here you get to interact with children. You get to
Yes.
know what they need. You get to know like how we can bring them into a better world, because corporate world is completely different from the education world.
Corporate
Corporate
world
has
is
its
completely
own.
material, and
Yeah.
here you have a purpose. So this
Yes.
has become my purpose of life. I mean, like a mission. So
That is why you started Teach for Life.
yes, of course, because I always
Great.
believe that learning is for life, not for marks. So that's what
Wow.
drives me, that how I can bring that change in the
I
lives of
think
my
we both
children.
are on the same track. I think we both
That's
are on
why
the same track.
like-mindedness. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Ma'am, let's start with the topic. Right. As a school principal, how do you see this absolutely new concept in schools, school education, the concept of e learning? Because this is like something, the children are new. Like this is a new concept for the children, it's a new concept for the parents, and even for some of the schools.
It's a new concept for everyone in India
Exactly,
almost.
especially in
And
India.
if
Exactly.
when this pandemic happened, then suddenly a big casualty. I think the biggest was this institutionalization of education. We were out of school, but
Exactly.
school was still going on. And so this very new concept in India, even in the most sophisticated schools, because see, we were doing it partially, I'm sure many other schools, because technologically schools are quite enabled now, especially in big cities.
Yeah.
You're sending your assignments and circulars and report card and many other things, but online classes, I think India had never tried. So
Exactly.
this was definitely a new concept. And this virtual classroom and Zoom and Google Hangout and Microsoft Team, all these things were tried. And I'm glad to see that schools are really putting in their best, and they are revamping their timetables, shifting discussions online, holding meetings with parents, and doing whatnot. So but I take it as a very proactive measure, because there was hardly any time when this lockdown was announced, and it was then further the period was enhanced. So I think sitting at home, all the schools and teachers networked with each other, learned the technology, tried it, revamped the system, and shifted to the next plan. So I would call it very proactive and wise, and standing up to the occasion. So it's a promising ray of hope for India and for education. I can't hear the audio.
There is a problem. Ma'am, since it was a new change, there must have been some teething issues. How could they be resolved?
See, as I said, suddenly it was announced, and one had to conceptualize the plan B. Plan A was always that after a week the schools are going to open, and in the usual way, like we do, we plan the syllabus and all. Most of the schools actually were caught so off guard, because there even the exams had not finished, as we all know, and
Yeah.
PTMs and results had not happened. Luckily, we were some of the few schools where we were done with everything. Our exams were over, PTMs were done. Many parents have had taken their book sets also. So we were on that verge, but still expecting that schools are going to reopen. So suddenly, when this all came up, we had to move to plan B. Very quickly, it all had to be decided. So that would mean that designing everything and analyzing all the modalities, like where and how this online will happen. As I said, Zoom and all the platforms had to be
Yeah.
tried. Teachers had to learn it. Teachers were to be trained and on the virtual mode, because we could not meet the teachers. So then we planned a network of training, that 5 6 teachers, 2 3 of them were from computer department, and then there are always some few teachers who are very tech savvy, so they quickly adopted to it. And then each one will teach two more, and they will teach two more, and that way this
The
1 week we
chain, the chain was developed.
all that chain
But
reaction.
after this, like I think now we need to be always ready with Plan B and then Plan C as well.
Absolutely, now it's all ready. That how it has to be. And
Ma'am,
then yeah.
yeah, ma'am, online classes are being talked about everywhere. What are the advantages? What are the advantages that you think this offers?
See, in many foreign countries, I mean, if we see Japan, if you have seen the way their schools function, and many US schools also, I think
Yeah,
this use of tablet and everything in school is already going on. So I think a lot of experiment has happened on virtual mode. Though for India it was a little new, but when we have seen this online mode, and we actually have tried to analyze, one clear advantage is independent learning, because so far when children were in school, they were all dependent on some of them were sitting in the classroom listening to teacher, attending all what was happening in the school. And after that, though we are never wishful of so, but in so many of schools, children do join tuitions also after school for their work and further study or something. So they were hardly trying to put in their own mind into their study, which is often my orientation for parents and students, that ultimately the learning will happen when you will self study. So now by default, because they were into that condition and there was all constraint from all sides that you can actually not go anywhere for it. So with the school's help and the planner which we're sharing with them and other schools as well, so the self-study skills actually could come to play. And we took sessions for it also for our children. So self-study skills, children are growing up with, and parents are also training them for. Schools are training. Independent learning is happening, and probably children and parents both had not seen this constructive side of digital interface so far, because there were video games and there were films and songs and all the other things which were happening with digital interface, but not the learning. So now people have seen it being used for such a constructive purpose, which is such a welcome change. And in future, we can expect that it will be used that way at homes and will be seen as a learning gadget and learning system also. So children have got opportunity to learn self-discipline with this, and parents have got to see how schools teach and how much of a hard work it is. And I guess though we are hearing all sorts of things, but there's a lot of appreciation also, and parents are getting to see that how it is so difficult to keep one or two kids at home and help them teach and help them understand. And I hope many can appreciate that how a teacher teaches in a class of 40 and takes 5 6 classes and makes everybody understand and approaches to every child. So I think these are all advantages, and well balanced routines they need. So I think they all got a chance to work with this. Families got a chance to bond with each other. So
That's the
take
most important thing, because parents were, when both the parents are working, they hardly had time for the kids.
takeaways are many if one sees it as an optimistic thing. And another thing is that how it has taken India by a storm. I mean, if I talk about use of digital and
Exactly.
online, I don't think India could have experimented like this. Because of this situation only, I think everybody got into it. You and me are talking on this platform today, and
Exactly.
everybody else. I mean, I'm talking
Almost
also to
after a
everybody
year,
on
almost
today.
after a year, we are talking together on this platform.
Absolutely, absolutely. The kind of educational exchange which is happening, across the platforms now, it was never before. So, lot many advantages actually, and it gives
Right.
us a lesson for lifetime.
As much as I know you personally, you are very close to your students,
I am.
right? And in a group of students, there are some those very different kind of students who are not interested in learning in sense, I mean, who are not interested in writing, who are
Hmm.
not interested in completing their work, right? But some or the other way, you get connected with them,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? How do you manage these students? Like, I'm talking about, in technical terms, if we say, I'm talking about those dyslexic and dysgraphic kids who,
Although
like, out of those 100%, almost, I guess, like 10% students are dyslexic and dysgraphic. How do you handle them, and how do you train them, and how, because not every parent accepts the fact that their child is dyslexic or dysgraphic. How do you help them, and how do you train them? It might be a bit out of the mode,
no, not
but
at all, not at all.
yes,
Um, Here I would share my analysis that not 10% is a huge percentage. If you're talking about, there could be children who do not pay
I'm talking
attention,
about
who
the
it is
entire
natural for
student percentage. I'm talking about the entire student percentage. Not in your school, not in your school, but yes, entire student percentage. Out of 100, almost 10 or between 10% there are.
intensity would differ. I mean, how
Yeah.
much the severity
Yeah,
is. So,
exactly.
for a truly special needs case where we're talking about dysgraphia, if our viewers would want to know, it's about handwriting. I mean, you can't
Exactly. And
write in a straight line.
dyslexia
Learning
is,
difficulty, it's a
yeah, it's
learning
a learning
difficulty
problem.
where you face difficulty in reading, spelling, and that's why comprehending also. The
Exactly.
cognitive processing is also slow, so you can't take multiple instructions at a go. So there are many issues. But again, as I said, severity is different. So if you are on a borderline, then with some individual help and some special teaching methods, you quickly start improving on it. And if your case is too severe, then you may take a lot of time and you may never be able to reach up to the class level, but you learn to cope up with it somehow. So for all
Exactly.
the special needs children, we are taking one-on-one sessions. I mean, they are definitely attending the regular class with other students and attending to all that work in their capacity, but otherwise teachers are assigned for each one because they're limited in numbers. So who is working with whom, so teachers are personally connecting with them, and through their video lessons or WhatsApp video conferencing call, they're explaining their things to them, because for special needs students the syllabus is also not the same. It's a
It's
modulated
not the same.
syllabus.
Exactly. It's
So
modulated, and moreover, like special need kids are different from the normal ones, and they are, most of them are basically auditory learners.
yeah, auditory, visual, kinesthetic, they are
Yeah.
mostly when they learning by doing, they do. So it also depends with them, uh, depends from case to case. So accordingly, with that less syllabus, with different worksheets, so teachers work with them on WhatsApp groups separately, and that is
Right.
completely one to one. We are trying to help them. But regarding the hyperactive children who are otherwise mischievous or maybe careless and don't work well without private supervision or personal supervision, who are always under teacher's nose in the classroom, on the front desk, and all that. So their parents have been oriented. So here, see, in this online mode, we all have to take parents along. So I think that
Exactly.
partnership has to become very strong. So the moment we designed our program and started with it, the first thing was to orient parents. So with parents, a lot of sessions were taken. They were trained on how to. We have been using Zoom, and regarding every step when that thing came, then also what safety measures we will be taking on that, through video, through messages, and through online Zoom meetings and all. First, the parents have been taken in loop by us regarding everything. So about teaching methods also, and how you will be helping, and how you will be making a timetable at home. So that way we have done. And sometimes to keep check on some children, teachers have asked parents to make the video of child when he is actually doing his written work and
Yeah,
all,
that
and
is much
letting
required. That is much required because kids, they just swap things in a second.
yes, so that makes
They
the
start
children
either
look
playing
conscious that
games.
ma'am will see, and children have cam scan their work also and send to teachers,
Exactly.
the written work
Wow.
assignments and all when they have done. Kids while doing activities, like when in nursery and all, when teachers have done phonics with them or numbers, they have taken it with a lot of interest, and there are videos. I mean, I can't share them here, but I've shared on my Facebook some, and school Facebook. So how they are practicing keeping that mobile or laptop in front, the child is very joyfully speaking with the teacher and finding out. So things have gone well that way. And we have seen case to case where we need that individual attention, so that video check as I suggested, and for special needs, one on one on WhatsApp video call.
Oh. Ma'am, like e-learning has certainly taken up the society by storm, but some people have faced many concerns, like the students not being disciplined at home, not getting up and not sitting. No, even some parents are not being able to monitor as well. So, due to household chores, or it's due to household chores or office work, that because parents are also working from home, some feel that there is no response of online classes for very young kids. What would be your take on it? No
Um,
purpose for because even to some extent, even I feel that online classes, if we tell them to read and write and send their thing on online, I feel, because me being a special educator and a counselor, like you already know, to some extent I am 50-50 on this, like online for small kids, like especially the toddlers, because it does affect them, it does affect their brain, and that is what is my concern. what would
yeah.
what would be your take on this?
That's a good question, and I would really love to answer it because I'm on a public platform, and let all
Exactly.
the parents and education leaders
Because
and
there are
people.
certain parents, like not certain parents, most of us, we do not want our kids to go to school till a vaccine is created or researched
Uh,
and tested and it's out in the market,
exactly,
right?
everybody
But
that risk.
then we have our other dilemmas also, like how will our kids cope up with only online education? Because what I personally feel is physical presence of a teacher and friends and peer group is also important, and they are missing all it. All this is being missed by them,
Absolutely.
and
See,
especially for those hyperactive kids, they do not want to stay in the four walls, and they are forced to stay in the four walls.
First of all, we all have to understand that this e-learning has not been taken up as a choice. I
It
think
is
this is the
forced.
only alternative which we all are left with. So that's why it is. So by no means there is a substitute to physical school and physical classroom. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a blissful situation to be in, but right now we are far away from it. And we don't even know, like you said, how many months will it take, whether August or September or
It
even
can
more.
be even a year or 18 months. That's what the latest news was in the newspapers as well.
Yeah, in US we have heard that they've declared this entire year to be at
A
home
zero
and
year.
online learning. So then it's time even more to realize for everyone that how important e-learning is now, because that's the only alternative we are left with. See,
Mhm.
think that if we do not exercise e-learning and this home study planner, children will be completely out of touch with the idea of learning itself. So they may
Exactly.
completely move into some other direction, and further then after 1 year or say 6 months or 3 months, restructuring their routine and bringing them back on the path may turn very difficult. So, and the cognitive development, if we talk about, you were talking about young children. Yes,
Yeah.
I said I'd love to answer that. So as we know that a lot of brain development happens when children are small. I mean,
Yeah.
when the child is born and up to 3 years and 5 years, up to 7 years, the all brain development has almost happened. So the
Mhm.
more challenge, the more cognitive experiences you give to a child when the child is young, more neural connections happen and the IQ enhances. So we cannot waste this time. So if we ask about the need of these e-planners or some kind of learning and enrichment experience,
Yeah.
it is inversely proportional with the age of the child. I would say younger the kid, more he needs this learning platform, because their minds should be engaged with something constructive. Now, the beauty of the whole thing lies in that they are not to be penalized with a lot of writing and a lot of academic syllabus as such. When we began with, it was completely an enriching planner for them, where there were links for storytelling and there were links for poem recitation, and then we began with their physical exercise, prayer, and teacher doing zumba and yoga, simple yoga for children, so animal yoga and different kinds of things. And then we began with coloring. As in school also, we go slow, very much step
Yeah.
to step. So first the coloring happened in big shapes, and from coloring, then very gradually they moved on to strokes, very simple strokes. Parents were guided again and again. It was checked through their video check lessons and all that. And
Yeah.
then teachers were taking all those dance and theater and stuff. So it was, if you see the planner of a nursery, KG, kindergarten, and first and all, you'll be overjoyed to, I mean, you would really love to study and see all those links. So that's how it was kept very holistic, and there were activities for parents and children to do together, because we wanted them to feel that bond and parents to become more connected with their child's learning. We also kept in mind that the material which they require should be very simple, and by using some stole at home, or simple newspapers and this and that. Like for example, if you talk about numbering and counting practice or something, we have all this crockery and all these utensils at home, so counting how many spoons you have at home. So all the materials also which were selected were such that they are very much available in the boundary of home, and parents do not have to hunt for it or get stressed for it. So this was about young kids, that how you engage them. So online is really really important for them, but schools, please pay attention that don't penalize them with a lot of syllabus and written work. Go very slowly and absolutely step by step. So parents have loved it and they've appreciated it like anything. About students not disciplined at home, as you said. So here I said that parents have to be taken along during this. So a lot of orientation with parents and ongoing counseling with children, giving them a reality check. And whenever every session is taken, in the beginning, teacher does some warm up. There we talk about these things, and teacher gives some personal remarks also. And the way you do in the class while disciplining, you try to check what they did the last day. So this way, taking parents and children into loop, and with all this counseling workshop sessions now, like we have experienced it for 1.5 months, up till May. So now when we are going to begin, I have a long list of workshops which I will be conducting first for the parents now
Wow.
once again, because we
Because
were
parents need it more. Parents need it more because,
exactly.
like, in a way, we have, as educators, we have involved experiential learning completely for the kindergarten, because they are
Yes.
learning numbers through counting whatever things are there at home.
Hmm.
They come to know the alphabets, like C for cup, P for plate, S for
Yeah.
spoon.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
in one or the other way, we have involved, like knowingly or unknowingly,
And
we have
then
involved experiential learning.
and then there are life skills. I mean, children are doing life shows, and they are there's a beautiful video of a small kiddo from nursery folding clothes, and mother has made video and helping her with making cake and beating coffee and doing many things. So children are doing all those things at home, and they are also having a tryst with environment when they are watering
Yeah.
plants. All such things become part of our school activities which we give to them. And prayer has been kept as a very important part, because the whole family praying together, that culture we would like to build. And every day when
That
the
is a must. That is a must.
the session starts with the prayer. And about monitoring and all, I've said that parents will have to keep a check.
Yes.
And now that they are at home, and when we talk about limited number of mobiles and laptops, and also it will be under parents vigilance that where the child is sitting. And here the respect of the school is also very important. The more discipline will be shown by parents, that this is an important platform and this is important for you. See your teachers, how much hard work are they doing. I mean, balancing their household work plus your teaching. And you have to equally be a partner, and we'll help you out. If the parent spirit will be like that, with positivity and with gratitude, I'm sure it is going to influence the kid as well, the one who was a little careless. And I'm sure they are going to be on one page. So this has to be an ongoing dialogue at home, and dialogue between school and parents also, which helps. And so with the office work, I think if the parents are doing some office work, it's an inspiration for the child. If you do it in an optimistic way, and if you set a good example, then when a child sees that my parent is also working, not watching TV or maybe film, or
Exactly.
doing some
Because they are setting example for the kids that, see, when we are working from home, you
exactly.
also need to study at home.
Yes, then I feel that child should get all the more inspired. Then it becomes a work culture at home, that Papa is doing the office work, Mummy is also writing her reports and whatever, and I'm also doing. So we are all taking pride, and by the night or late in the evening, we'll all enjoy, and probably we'll watch a film or whatever they may do together for lightening up and all. So I think that atmosphere is to be created at home.
Right, great, great. Ma'am, like you mentioned earlier, like it has, even I have been mentioning that it has become a forcible studying at home due to COVID 19. Right. Don't you think another obstacle could be the technology itself? availability of limited resources, or an absolute absence of gadgets and connectivity at times, like we experienced right now. Like we went online and then all of a sudden it was offline. So, don't you think connectivity at times, or not just being tech savvy, how can one combat with these circumstances?
See, had it been, we have set a very good role modeling with, keeping the show on besides coming back to it twice and
Yes.
thrice. So that's how, regarding these connectivity issues and all, I think everybody is helpless. And we are trying to do our best. Today also, we were trying to do our best. But had there been no electricity at your place or mine, I mean, we
Like
could not have.
since 1:30, there was no electricity because there was a severe thunderstorm over here.
That's what I
I was
think.
worried. I was worried. How are we going to go online?
I think nature's wrath is coming in different forms in these days, whether
Exactly.
it's earthquake or hailstorm and stuff like that. So I was saying that for such issues, everybody is helpless, and nobody can be blamed, because if it's a natural disaster or some calamity or condition or electricity or say connectivity problem, that's a different thing. But when we talk about the gadgets, as you said, technology itself, so there could be two, three things. Connectivity, nobody can do anything about it. We can keep doing our best. But yes, of course, for that, schools have to use plan C, D, E, and F also, like we have been doing. So it's not just the online classes that we are doing. You know how we take it up. We lately started sending them a weekly planner. So we used to share the weekly planner on Sunday. In fact, Friday night we used to keep Saturday and Sunday off, and so Friday night they would know that Monday what all will be done. So all the subjects and their portions for the senior classes, we had 4 periods, 12th and all, and for other classes two, and for junior classes alternate day 1 period. I mean
Yes.
nursery and KG and also,
Like
and that was very
you've
informative.
already started practicing odd even.
Yes, yes.
the
So,
the new school norms that might be formulated.
in the coming time, yes. So we are doing that, and now with the syllabus, what the portion which teacher is going to teach on Monday, say in English or in mathematics or something, then a video link is also given by the teacher, in which there is a video shoot of the entire session and some links where they can understand the concept, so children can pre-read actually. And the assignment is also shared and all the notes are also shared, so you have multiple ways to go through it, even if during the online your connectivity was an issue or something. And the other thing, when we talk about the number of laptops and mobiles at home, so you must have seen that many elders and I think many people who are working, like teachers also, are taking their sessions on mobiles, many of them. And in
Exactly.
these talk sessions, when we are seeing people are using mobiles, probably they may have laptops, but there may be some technical issue with it, or it must be out of order or something. So people are anyway working with mobile, and in a place like Delhi, connectivity, or all the major cities, connectivity is pretty okay. And both the parents surely have two smartphones at home, if nothing else. And if a parent is working, if they say, they would have their office laptop as well. So I think, and why not? I would say parent can also discuss with their office people. Suppose at 4 o'clock you have a, or say 2 o'clock you have class of your child and a meeting in office also. You can always say, and I'm sure everybody realizes the importance of the class. So there also you can shift a bit, that okay, we will have it at 3 because my child has a class at 2 and he needs the mobile or the laptop or something. So we can have some shared time there also. But I think with all these sharings, we can use the learning platforms in the best way. And in my school, as I shared, that we also send them videos, and we have also created a YouTube channel on which these lectures are posted, I mean these sessions
Wow.
are posted. So later when the child gets time, the child can
Ji.
also see those concepts and videos. So you have to use 3 4 methods, and with notes and everything. Some children do not have books, though I said that books were procurable, but for some reason, if somebody was out of Delhi, maybe they could not.
Right.
So right
Mhm.
now they don't have. So the lesson, or maybe the pages with teachers talking about in the online, which is going to. So they they take the screenshots of the pages and they share it on the platform in the PDF. Teachers have also created groups where children can actually click the pictures of their scans of their book
Okay.
pages and share with other students. So we have tried at multiple levels that it becomes a successful experience for everyone, and that's what I think schools will have to try.
Right. Ma'am, like we've been talking about too many screen times. Screen time has also been a cause of worry. As they say, too much screen time can be perilous over health. Like prolonged online sessions can be overwhelming and may lead to problems related to vision, body posture, sleep disorder. Because too much screen time does affect the sleep pattern. Besides that, the positive risk with platforms like Zoom, and also prospective risks with platforms like Zoom, and also about the probability of children misusing it to watch inappropriate content. So which screen is the medium of transaction, that how can these risks be addressed?
Screen time, yes, I have also heard things about it, some worry, and some experts talking about it. But here, I would like to give a reality check to those experts also, and the parents who have been maybe talking and worrying about it, because you all have to realize and just um, look in the past and see when online classes were not happening. I think all of us and parents were coming to us and talking about that child is not leaving the mobile, and is very much hooked to the video games, PUBG and all. We have all heard about it, was all over in the news. So, very unfortunately, but even the babies have been handed over the mobiles to while away the time and seeing those YouTube videos uselessly for hours, and when mothers are cooking and doing other things, which we never profess. So, children anyway were on the screen, I think, all the time when they were not studying. So they were doing video games, they were watching songs or films or playing some other stuff on it, or they were just glued to television watching cartoons or some other TV soaps, I think, with the family. And in this lockdown, we could have so much expected that this was happening all the time if this was not, if learning was not happening. Now, thankfully, the screen time is being utilized for learning. So I don't think children were not having a screen time earlier, or would not have had any screen time if learning was not happening. So now, thankfully, some constructive usage of screen time is happening. Also, try to remember, everybody who's talking about it, that were we not in all the conferences and even now talking about that India becoming digital India and all the technological advancements, I think there have been conferences on it, that how we can utilize more and more of digital platforms into teaching, and how it can actually enrich our teaching learning. So now, thankfully, when it is happening, I think everybody has to come forward to appreciate and motivate and encourage, rather than unnecessarily finding a fault with it or a loophole with it. But at the same time, having said that, I would like to suggest the schools, like I shared with you, it has to be age appropriate, and you have to move up in a realistic way and in a very practical time slot wise. You have to keep it, like I said, for our nursery and kindergarten, we call them Ankur and Pallav. We have 40-minute class, which is on alternate days. So it's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, just one period. And believe me, children are waiting for it, because teacher starts with the prayer and then she does some activities with children, which they see the teacher and do at home. So parents are also glued, and then on the next day they have certain activities to do at home, which they do with a lot of interest, and they look forward to it. So when we move to so up till second, this is going on. Then third to fifth, it's every day one period. And then when we move on to sixth and all, it becomes two periods, one period, and then there's a gap of 1.5 hour or something, and then there's another period. So sixth, seventh, eighth have 2 periods a day, and then ninth onwards we have 4 periods a day. So which is absolutely reasonable, and in between there is time for writing and all. We have devised the period and the entire timing according to school timing. In fact, school starts at 7:30 and 8, but this starts at 9. So between 9 to 2, 4 periods have been kept of 40 minutes, and in between there is free time when they can actually do their other things or complete their written work. And also one needs to keep it very balanced. And you were talking about Zoom. Yes, of course. When there was a lot of news about Zoom being a risky platform, and it may your confidential,
Information
information or
and
your
all.
system could be taken and all that. So there, the one had to pay attention to the fact that how can you keep it secure. So, and there were so many inputs on the internet itself in the form of videos and also right from there we took those precautions. And all our sessions were password and ID protected. And
Okay.
very quickly we formulated 10 commandments which have to be followed. That
Ma'am,
when
I
and
would also like to have those 10 commandments. Please
I'll,
mail them to me.
I'll share with you. So they are a part of all our planners, and because children cannot, the whole master of the ceremony see should be the teacher of the entire class. The control should be in teacher's hand so that there can be no mockery or there can be no other foul play or some insecure thing happening.
Exactly.
So when children enter their mics and their chat box and that scribbling thing, screen share, everything is kept protected with teacher. So when she admits the children, she kind of takes attendance in my school, and then she sees their picture, actual child, and the correct name, full name. With their name, they have to enter. They cannot be there with some other fun name or something. And we ask the parents to sit in the beginning when this attendance procedure is going on. For seniors, for juniors, parents sit along the session, and they also quite look forward to, because they want to learn how the teacher is teaching and how we will help them later. But for the senior ones, at the time of attendance we would like to see parents face also there. And later on they can move for their work and then again keep coming back. So these are some of the things which we have kept under, and I'll share those commandments with you. And about the postures and all, there has been a clear guideline. And as I said, I myself conduct sessions and send messages intermittently to teachers and parents. So my guidance keeps happening, and teachers also take sessions. So children have to sit the way I'm sitting and you are sitting here on a chair and take their sessions. They cannot roll in the bed and take it. Another experiment which we did became quite successful. We asked them to be in school t-shirts. We use t-shirts in summers, so which is very convenient and comfortable. So just sitting in that t-shirt makes them feel so good. One psychological benefit is that they get connected to the realistic, class environment. That feeling is there. Then that uniformity brings a kind of binding in the entire group, that we are part of the same climate, or that kind of belongingness. Child has to be well groomed when he's sitting for the session, well combed hair, and bath taken and everything. And with the book, because I told you we give all the portion which we will be taking in the online class in advance. So they should sit with that book or copy and taking down some notes along. So they have to sit there prim and proper. Teacher asks them to show their notes, copy or something, and they all show it like this. So we try to ensure that the decorum is there and that seriousness and that professionalism is there when the class is happening. So with all that, the body posture remains erect, and we guide them for self-study skills. There also we talk about how to sit and posture and how much distance with the book. So I think schools do not have to just take the syllabus and classes like that rote method. They will have to take many other workshops and I think other training and counseling sessions with children for these things.
What I personally feel is like, I think we are moving ahead of rote and learn now,
We have to.
because we have to, because the kids, they are tech savvy. Even we are not that tech savvy, like compared to our kids.
Hmm.
So, ma'am, I have another question. The National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences (NIMHANS) has been studying the increased dependency on gadgets amid the lockdown, right? And monitoring its impact on emotional health, social quotient, physical well-being of children. Are schools also thinking on the same directions? What are the
See,
measures that schools are directing the parents to take during this lockdown? Because it's becoming really, really traumatic for the kids. They are like they are just trying to get out of the house anyhow,
hmm.
and with this, like the daily the cases increasing, we cannot allow them out. They are
See,
missing their sports, they are missing their activities, everything they are missing.
no, you're right. We all realize that. And as far as the screen time is concerned and its toll on somebody's health or something is concerned, I do not agree with it. And we have talked about it in the last question that anyway,
Yes.
screens are being used and parents are just not able to take mobiles off their hands. And every school has heard several stories about it. And we completely know what the reality is, so nobody should say that screen time and all, so that's not an issue, but the lockdown is certainly the
Yes.
issue. Of course, now the children are in confines of homes only, same two three faces they're seeing inside their household, and not moving out for playing in the park, or school is not happening, that we completely agree. So first thing we see, when we are in school, we talk about holistic learning. My school particularly is an experiential learning school, and as I said, teach for life. So our shikshantaram, the curriculum is about, it's all about holistic and child centered development. So we anyway look at their social, emotional health and their physical well being. So this could not be ignored when now they are at home, because now they need it all the more. In
Yeah.
school we have ample ways to do that with them, but now the creativity lies in that how do we do it in our online sessions also, while children are sitting at home. So if I talk about physical well-being, I said that I shared with you that we start with the yoga, aerobics, and Zumba, and teachers have made videos, and those we call it happy curriculum, and that all is a part of it. So we share that, and every day children are supposed to do that at home. In the activities which we create for younger kids, there's a lot of physical running around, but it is designed in such a way that you can play the game in the drawing room, something about catching the ball or running, or like a small game where children learn about shapes. So what the parent has to do is that with any small glazed paper, chart paper, or newspaper, they have to cut triangles, rectangles, or squares and circles, and they have to just paste it on the floor at a distance, at a small distance. And when suppose the parent says triangle, the child has to jump over the triangle. When the parent says circle, then the child has to jump over the circle. So likewise, we have designed so many games which are shared in the planners daily, which gives them some room for that kind of activity. And then there is dance, there's music, percussion on tabla, guitar, keyboard playing, and all the lessons teachers take. But we have also done something creative like playing orchestra with scrap, means using your tub and bucket and
Yeah.
tongue at home,
Really
and do,
innovative. Really innovative.
so that entire family can come into it, and then they can create a tune, and so alongside they should also play, teacher do it in that online video mode also. So with all that, we try to keep them engaged, and that there is some interesting and creative thing is also happening. And about their social well-being, one thing is that online has helped a big time this way, because otherwise if they watch some other video or some other film, they are passive onlookers only, because the medium is showing and you're just watching, so there's no social interaction happening. But when you're sitting in that online class, you're getting to see the faces of all your classmates, and that feeling of that teacher is there and we are all there, so somewhere in a virtual interface, but I'm in my school climate. So I think that helps a lot, because child other than parents and all gets to see, teachers, and where different teachers are teaching, they get to see their four, five, six of their teachers in different time zones, and then the children of their class. And when children a teacher unmutes them, then they get to speak also, so they get to hear each other. Another thing which we do is talent show. When teacher unmutes and asks them to, we tell this a day before, and somebody can sing two lines of a song, somebody can show a dance, somebody can share a joke, somebody can share a poem recitation. And when we did our last PTM before closing for summer vacation, first thing, as I said, we always orient parents and keep them on the same page, aligned. So everything which was in our holiday planning, we kept it very interesting and realistic. Again, we did not burden children with a lot of work, so we kept it very balanced, and everything was explained to parents and children on the online interface, so that they, and we sent the planner before. We asked the parents to go through it and be ready with their doubts and all, if there are any, send them on WhatsApp so that teacher can take it in the online session. And we also invited parents to share some talents with us on that online mode. So on every class group, 4 5 of parents sang, or they showed someone or the other talent from their side. So that was such a stress buster for parents also. And then I've shared with you about prayer, which is an
Yeah.
ongoing thing, and this happiness curriculum. So, in every which way we can do, we have tried this. And the kind of questions which we give them, the exploration questions which we give them, we create an opportunity that they have to speak with their parents, or they have to do something with their mother and father or grandfather. Sometimes we ask them to take reviews of six of your family members. So, because of this opportunity, they will have to call them up and talk to them. So some rapport and some interaction will build up. So we've tried our best to bring in the maximum social interactions for them, and to handle their emotional needs. Another important thing, Rina, when it all began, children were really shocked, because this was a historic thing and new thing
Exactly.
happened. And all over, all the time, news is also showing you that how many COVID patients have increased, and what
Right.
casualties are happening,
Still,
and
it is a
hospital
big.
needs.
Still, it is a very, very big, shocking news. Like every day, my son, every day he's monitoring. Mama, the toll has gone up to this.
Yes. And
How do
then
you follow it?
then on WhatsApp, the viral forwards and all that.
Videos, it's
Sometimes
traumatizing.
sometimes true or sometimes false also, but many things are
Yeah.
coming up. So then we guided every day. We were guiding whenever there was online session, and we were with that we were sending messages also regularly, boosting them up and motivating their spirit, and talking about myths and misconceptions, and what are the facts, and how we
Mhm.
have to be proactive and boost our immunity in the very very formative stages. I'm saying we were, and we are still doing it. That in between we keep talking. In our planners we have the segments for this also, that how to fight against corona, and how to have the gratitude for doctors and our police force and our
Frontline
teachers
warriors.
and everybody
We
who
call
is
like
fighting.
the frontline warrior is the proper term for them.
Yes, and even
Like
teachers. So
I'm really happy, like the way you are involving everybody. If you remember, I always said that the day parents and teachers and school walk hand in hand, things will change. I think
absolutely,
you've made it.
I
I
completely
think
believe
you've
it.
made it.
Yeah, and that's
Today
what
they are all walking hand in hand.
they
And
are.
if this continues for long, there will definitely be a change in the education scenario in the world. I
Yes,
think this
then
has become like I am blessed, like my dream is coming true.
yeah, we cannot work without each other. I think we both have to
Exactly.
be equal partners, parents and schools. So and I have always worked on those lines, and kept my parents with the school that way.
Great, great, great. Ma'am, as a head of an institution, what suggestions would you like to give to your schools, to all the schools, parents, teachers, to make the best possible use of e learning? This is for all those who are watching this live streaming.
Um, yes, there are many suggestions. First, as I was discussing in the previous questions also, that one has to go very realistically about the situation and about the condition and situation what children and parents are going through and what teachers are going through also. In fact, all of us. So, all the needs and learning gaps have to be addressed. Always keep it in the mind when you are designing your online program and curriculum that there are cognitive needs, and all the children may not learn at the same pace. They may not understand in that online session. So there have to be multiple resources, as I said, have the video, have the podcast, have the notes, and those book pages and worksheets, and also that one thing or the other helps and it somehow moves. And while taking your syllabus and actual academic thing, if you're taking it, then keep going back and revising, because you've done it for a while, for a fortnight. Then wait, revise what you did in the past, and keep on taking feedbacks in terms of unmuting children and asking questions, and taking some viva, some on one-on-one sessions. We are planning many things like that in the coming July session now, because it is going to be online. So this was about academic. And just take precaution that don't do too less and too much also, and go with age appropriateness regarding the content also, and regarding the frequency of your classes and number of your classes. For smaller kids, you have to have lesser sessions, and then what kind of sessions they should be: very stimulating, very interesting, because here there's no hurry to complete the syllabus. Here our all intention should be to keep the children connected with learning. That love for learning should remain, and the mind should be ignited, and that connect with the school and learning and books and stories and stuff should be there. So and that fitness, all these three needs which we just now talked about: emotional trauma, and their social disconnect which is happening at this time, less physical movement and physical well-being is also a question. So create all the opportunities in your planner that all these needs are addressed. Thirdly, parents cannot be ignored and parents cannot be pardoned at this time with a free time. So I think parents have to be kept aligned with us as our active partners in this whole endeavor. So, alongside children, parents have to be oriented and counseled constantly about any new move which you are going to make. For example, if you are going to increase one more period, then with what vision you are going to do it. I think that is important to be explained. So whenever you are going to do something, explain it to your parents and children that what has been our analysis on the things which we are doing in the past, and now
Exactly.
what this we are bringing with what mindset, and in this what role will we play, and how we want you to act so that we can successfully build up the best potential we can harness from the entire activity. So then other things like self study skills, postures, and self discipline, gratitude, so all those values and life skills and habits have to be built up. Schools and teachers have to constantly talk about and keep checking that there is a routine at home. The moment a parent shares with you that my child does not get up on time for the class, even if the class is at 11 o'clock, for example, then you get to know that no discipline is being followed, and at home the child is doing everything at his or her own will. So here the parent has to be given a checkpoint. And believe me, if the teacher takes a little, initiation in this, and they make a phone call and talk to this child one on one, it works like wonder. And take the parent and child both on con call and say that I was a little worried when you shared with me that the child is getting up at 11 o'clock. So I have chalked out a timetable for the kid, and keeping in mind that he has been getting up late these days, so I have not made it straight away 7 or something. I've kept it at 9, and gradually we will improve the timing. And this is how the timetable should be. I have kept it very easy, and I'll send another timetable next week, and I'll daily talk to you. So there are very few children like this. And if little one-on-one is done, and that initiative the class teacher takes for her 40 kids, then I think, and talk to one or two parents daily. That's what we practice in our school, talking about the child. So that gives a personal attention, and you can actually
Exactly.
build that culture. So all these things I would say, and take feedback seriously, because parents Don't take it just as a complaint. But for that, I would say you have to build up a very positive climate in the school, and everything is aligned, everything is very meaningful, that your parents trust you, and that environment of faith is there. So then if the parent gives a feedback, and then school should not just take it non seriously. Try to understand, it may be sometimes a very impractical or unrealistic thing. For example, if somebody says my child gets up late, so you can't reschedule your class according to what the parent has said. That's a fact. But see that why, where do I need the fine tuning? Means that means I have to take this up in my classes. That what is the routine of children? At what time children are
Exactly.
getting up? What is the readiness for the class? So maybe that. And if about the portion or about some other inadequacy, like I don't have book or something parent has shared, so think on those plans that okay, what can be done? Maybe 3 4 children do not have books, so how we can do it? So just fix it up, and take it seriously, all the feedbacks, and keep working on those feedbacks. The system will automatically keep on improving, and I think everybody will be benefited.
Right, right. Ma'am, many parents have been quite positive and appreciative about the online classes. I did a survey quite some time back. It's not been more than, I think, 10 days back. I did a online survey on Facebook. Because I was planning this, so I was sending questions daily. I was saying, you also might have noticed. I had been sending quite some questions, around five, six of them, and then some were positive, some were appreciative, some were negative. They had something or the other, whereas some others are still grappling with one or the other issue. Are there any significant points which could help these parents?
Hmm. First, as you said, I'm really glad about the kind of appreciation most of the parents have shown. And as we were talking about the younger kids, means nursery
Yeah.
kids, I have some many I have thousands of reviews and thanks messages from parents. But there are some, like I'll read them out to you. It's a great experience to learn virtually. Kids learn with zeal. Ma'am teaching techniques makes it more interesting session for kids, starting from prayer to studying systematically. Her enthusiasm keeps children engaging throughout the session. And weekly PDF is also designed informative way and interesting, which is easy to understand and touches every activity, which helps kids to groom. Looking forward to do such all these activities in classroom post COVID-19 pandemic. And videos are really interactive. They are doing exercises in different form. About that virtual PM, a parent has written, this was my first virtual PM. And also very interesting, where we saw the parents participating and appreciate the way it was explained and approached the students, making them understand their work during vacation. And then there is another parent who says, I'm myself very much satisfied with the way you're interacting with kids, and Shreyan finds the class very interesting and is always eager to attend the class, and he's very much thorough with the new lessons and concepts. Thank you, ma'am, for making so much easy for me. And this last one, which I've kept for reading here, we would love to log in again. This was when summer vacation was beginning, and now
Okay.
we said that no more classes in June. So it's regarding that, where that we would love to log in again. Means in June they would miss. So don't want the summer break. Virtual classes were going awesome. Really appreciate your hard work and dedication towards our kids' future. And I'm blessed that you're Vanya's teacher. She's in safe hands, and we'll surely miss the online classes, which had become part of our lockdown life. So,
Wow. This
the
is amazing, ma'am. I think this is what makes Dr. Anuradha Govind stand different in the entire fraternity. Because you take personal interest in the kids. They are so attached to you. Like you can make out, all the videos that you post, the reviews that your students put on Facebook and all. Like it's amazing.
so encouraging it is, and that's what makes me going. Many people many times ask me, my parents also and others, that ma'am, from where do you get the energy to be into everything and keep doing it, and all the time we see you smiling? I said that's what gives me energy, when I see my children smiling and getting back, and so much encouragement from parents and you all, Reena, the fraternity, and
Thank you
all the
so much,
colleagues.
ma'am.
So
Thank you so
now all these are the parents who are positively taking interest and who have actually learned what we wanted them to be. The others who are maybe who are struggling with some difficult situations, or maybe who are not in Delhi, or something, or maybe they have not figured out that they will have to be the partners in this mode of learning, and they will have to take it up seriously. So as I always say in school, that if you really want to benefit a kid, you have to take up parenting also seriously. I mean, school also has to take uh, parenting lessons also very seriously,
I
because
think these words of yours are giving me another webinar on parenting tips. Let's start for that because
absolutely,
that is
because
also required. That is very much required.
very
Let's
much.
first we will deal with this, and definitely we will try something on parenting also.
Sure. So, to all such parents, I'll give some easy tips to begin with. First of all, be vigilant and regularly look into all the inputs that school is sending, because some parents sometimes, do not even find time to look into the WhatsApp message which is coming from the teacher, or maybe the schedule of the class, or whatever the school is sending. Some people are very indisciplined about checking that out. So that is the first step and the easiest. That other than, in addition to other WhatsApp posts and forwards and Facebook and other thing, I think the most important message is the broadcast message coming from your kid's class teacher or subject teacher. So do not just ignore it by any means. So be very vigilant about it. Then try to understand, in all positivity, the process and all the content which is being shared. And it will be great that as soon as possible you accept your role as the active partner. Anyway, we required you all as active partners even when they were physical schools, but now in this online mode and lockdown period, we need it all the more. So without
Exactly.
you, we really want to benefit our kids a lot, but without your help and coming in with us, we will not be able to do that much. I mean, the kind of things which we are trying to do. So if you will show the respect and the belief in the system, and you will come with that spirit of co-working with the school, I think we can do wonders. Then the next thing which we would want from you, that help your child set up a routine. And for that you will also have to do some role modeling, that first of all there should be a routine at home for everyone. If no one has the routine, means the complete house does not follow any kind of proper routine setup, then child anyway will be missing all of that. So first the role modeling, and make sure that the child follows the routine. Tell the child the reason for why that routine is required, and why it is, how it is going to help them. And to make the child make the best of the learning experience what teachers are trying to give them or schools are trying to give them, you try to equip your child with the learning skills with the child children should have for self study. Means how he should be approaching his books, how he should go from strength to strength. Suppose if your child is not a self learner and always needs help, you will have to sit with them, and then gradually you have to build up those skills in children. So if you are able to create that positive mindset and that work ethic in children, and self responsibility skills and right kinds of habits, then your intervention will become less and less. So you please join us in making our children more equipped with good habits and self responsibility, and learning skills, how to study and how to deal with their own life management. So if you do that and keep inspiring and motivating them and also their teachers, I'm sure you'll be able to create that bond, and you will enjoy the experience yourself also. So parents, gear up, sooner the better.
All of us need to. All of us need to.
Sooner
So
the better.
finally, a word on as to what does e-learning hold for future? How do you figure it out as a part of the new normal?
See, as
Because I think this is going to continue till September or October. This is
बिल्कुल.
what, and it can be even further because things are not as we expected.
this is what I mean. I'm going to every alternate day or every day I'm conducting one or the other session or training workshops for teachers and all. So these days a lot. Tomorrow only I have something on this in July, how the classes, online classes, how we can restructure them and how can we make them most effective. So I think everybody in every school environment is these days talking about it, because earlier we were expecting in July the schools to open, and now we don't know how it is going to
I
be.
think like there was a news that I think after 15th of August they will think about what has to be
Huh,
done,
something had come
because
up.
I guess the pending board exams are to be conducted in July.
This is what they said, but there is a request for that also, that children may not be able to come in these risky situations, so government should not go for it, CBSE should not go for these exams. And moreover, you must be knowing some children have moved out of their native their places, like from Delhi people have moved to Himachal or South India or somewhere, even Nepal, to their native place.
Native
So
places.
now CBSE either will have to, they're working on it to arrange for their examination there in one of the schools. So
Mhm.
up and out, it's a very cumbersome process, and people are not for it. So, Rina, coming back to your question, the concluding, I think, question, our topic for today, where we said that whether it's an this e-learning was just an exigency breakthrough, or it's going to be a promise for future. So I would say that yes, of course, exigency. For our audiences, we would say that tough situation is exigency, which suddenly came up, and our online classes were certainly a path breaking breakthrough. That's something new and dynamic we did, and how beautifully and flawlessly the schools did it. So it was certainly a breakthrough, but it will not remain only as that breakthrough. We can clearly see now, people have seen the benefits and merits of this online learning, and as we know that the situation is going to be prolonged for quite some time, so it is definitely holding promise for future. Our teaching and learning now will not remain, this digital thing will not remain exclusive to classroom. It will definitely be
I think there is some technical problem. Let me see if I can connect Anuradha ma'am back. Oh, I think there is a technical problem there. Anyways, I am sitting in Dehradun and Anuradha ma'am is in Dwarka, Delhi. So I can't assure you when she's going to get back. But definitely, this was something very informative for all the parents, teachers, and students. And let's see how we can go about it in future. But yes, definitely everybody needs to be aware of what is going on and how things are going to be in future. So parents, teachers, students, everybody gear up for the new normal. You need to be aware of everything and you need to take it up very differently. Tomorrow we will be back again with Mr. Manish Gupta, who will be talking about same. We will be continuing with education, education, and education because that is the most important thing. So tomorrow I'll be posting about Mr. Manish Gupta very soon, and let's see you tomorrow. Okay, take care and be careful. Stay safe. Stay at home. Bye bye.